Alright, my Easter bunnies. This is my take on Timothy Cheruiyot 1500 meters run, time of 3 minutes and 29.017, 7 August 2021. Okay, here I, Tanis Leonhardi, she, hers of Seattle, talk through the Timothy Cheruiyot of Kenya 1,500 meters run race at the 2021 Summer Olympic Games in Tokyo, Japan, time of 3 minutes and 29.01 seconds. In the final, on Sunday, 7 August 2021, with his time, he achieved second place. I provide my take/perspective on his performance and contextualize it in terms of watching the NBC Olympic Games broadcast of the performance and still remembering all of the people who made the podium. I think this is one of those results. So when am I filming this? So I'm filming this Wednesday, 27 March 2024. And this is one of those results I've mentioned previously where like sometimes it's like I watch a bunch of stuff and then the stuff that sticks with me isn't necessarily the stuff that I thought would stick with me. And one that I've brought that up before is Tanis Coralee and the 100 meter freestyle, so pool swimming, preliminaries at the 2020 Summer Olympic Games. They kept the name 2020 Summer Olympic Games, but the year was 2021. So slight correction there. I fixed it in the video description too. And so this is one of those where like I watched it and I was like, okay. And then, a few years later, I still remember it. And it's like, if anything, it's the memory of it has gotten even stronger. And I'm just like, it was a strong memory in the first place. And this is like one of those ones that I just was like, I think, so I've previously covered this for the gold medalist, the person who took first place, Jakob Ingebrigtsen. And I just remember I was just like sitting, or not sitting, I'm standing, I tried to say standing, came out sitting, but I was having my snack and watching, and just, I was like, that was, I was like in depression mode, where I was like, nobody's gonna get it right. And I was like, I was so mad at the Norwegian guy for, Cheruiyot was in the front for like most of the race, and the Norwegian guy, Jakob Ingebrigtsen, was like on like his heels, and I was just like, not saying anything, and I'm like, you're gonna lose it. I'm Norwegian and you're gonna lose it, and I'm gonna be so mad, right? And he makes a move and he passes Cheruiyot to win the gold, right? So if you guys know this channel, I'm highly in favor of Jakob Ingebrigtsen, but there was just like I stayed with it and watched it. I think it was, so that what the finals were live broadcast via NBC, so this was one of those ones that we saw, if I'm recalling correctly. And so it was a frustrating race to watch. And Jakob Ingebrigtsen, from my Norwegian perspective, right? Now, from the Kenya perspective, they might have only gotten frustrated at the end. I was also frustrated at the finish line. I was like, please, no more Great Britain on the podium. And I'm watching, and Jakob Ingebrigtsen crosses the finish line. And then Cheruiyot, and then Josh Kerr. And I'm like, why, Josh Kerr? Why does a Great Britain person have to make the podium? I remember all of the emotions. They were very strong in watching this race. There were very few, at the moment, this is the only one that comes to mind, where the emotions were so strong for every podium medalist in watching the whole race, and fast forward over 2 years later, and the feelings are still that intense. I've found ways to temper my emotions. Right? I like Josh Kerr now. He runs for Brooks, right? Based in Seattle, and he's Scottish, and he's gone back to his Scottish roots a little bit. But with this guy, he was my neutral. I think with Ingebrigtsen, I think I was probably on the line of a lot of people who bet in sports. I don't need to bet in sports because I feel that emotional. When I do get attached to a runner, I don't need the betting to feel that strong of emotion. And so Jakob Ingebrigtsen was that in this race. Cheruiyot was like the good for you guy. You go for it. I'm here being a stickler on the people who representing my ancestry regions, which would be Norway and Scotland. But the guy from Scotland didn't represent Scotland, he represented Great Britain, but still applicable. So like he was like, in that sense, he doesn't get the scrutiny, Timothy Cheruiyot, that the other two did from me personally during the race, and especially at the finish line. So there was a little bit of like, I would say, of my seething during the race, for most of the race for Jakob Ingebrigtsen, that then changed to Josh Kerr when the finish line came around. Cheruiyot just like, you know, was like, might as well have been Chariot to Fire, right? It was like just going through like, haha, I don't receive any of Tanis's seething animosity. So, like, good job, guy. I'm not Kenyan, I'm not African in any part. Good job. It's a grace zone for you. Yeah. So if you're watching this, right? So yeah, good job. He was my neutral in this race. Okay, so that's my take on the Timothy Cheruiyot 1500 to 1500 meters run. 3 minutes, 29.01 seconds, 7 August 2020.